Good evening, traders. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. How's everybody doing tonight? Study the new day, opening gap. Everything's going good. Yo hablo español. No noche. Not tonight. No Spanish tonight. Let it rip. Let's go. Looking good. Sounds good. Great. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Welcome, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. In our YouTube chat, there is our Topstep risk disclosure. This is not a signals class. This is for educational purposes only. You'll be seeing trading concepts. Maybe I'll place a few trades depending on what the market's doing. And it is for educational purposes only. That being said, let's just dive into it. As I'm going through class tonight, just a few housekeeping things. We have my Topstep channel, or my channel in the Topstep Discord. It's right there. I'm going to go ahead and pin it. Every single night, I'm going to try and do maybe one or two statistics. Your guys' statistics, the trader statistics. I'm going to pin it to the chat. And if you would like to have me review them, just hit share. Over here in Topstep X, we have our performance stats. You could go ahead and click on share, copy, paste the link, and put it in my channel in the Topstep Discord. So let's get into it. I'm going to just go over the itinerary for tonight. Tonight, as always, rapid fire, NASDAQ, crude oil, Nikkei, and then we'll switch over to gold. We'll try and do a gold trade. Maybe what I'm going to start doing a little bit more often. Now the markets have started to settle down. As you can see, here's NASDAQ. We had a nice consolidating day. It wasn't too crazy. The DOM is looking a lot more healthier. There's only like a 1 point spread. So we're starting to stabilize in the markets, at least for today. And so maybe we could start talking about some more overnight trading concepts. And then near the end of class, I'll try and review one or two traders' statistics. So what a day in the market. It felt good to have a day like today. It wasn't too crazy. It wasn't too chaotic. Nothing really changes much when I start with a daily. But we did come up. It was bullish, right? Today we did find some buyers. We came up and tested the higher 700s, 760s. There is a key resistance there. Obviously, you could see that here. One thing that I am looking at, we do have, of course, key news that's coming out this week. It seems like every single week the market's always looking at something, right? We have CPI, unemployment. There's always something going on, no matter what, that the market's waiting for or waiting to see. And that just seems to be the story of the market in general. But tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm going to be on for fast markets. We have core PPI. We have PPI. And then, of course, we have Fed members speaking. We all know that. CPI is coming out on Wednesday. Core CPI is coming out on Wednesday. Then, of course, again on Thursday, we have retail sales and unemployment. So markets are always waiting for something. That shouldn't stop us. I mean, today we seen a very normal day. As you guys could see over here on the left-hand side of the NASDAQ, this is consolidation. This is what I like to see in consolidation. And we could see how we did today. Today we went from at the low, 516, at the high, 760s. So not a big day in the markets in terms of just pure volatility compared to what we've been seeing. And so that's why I feel more comfortable talking about a lot more of some overnight strategies. We could dive more in depth about stop losses, maybe looking at some overnight trade setups in these different markets if I see something good. We do have the news tomorrow, so it's always one of those. It's education first. And then we could talk more about trading concepts, right? I'm not really seeing much going on in the NASDAQ. I've been a bull ever since we've sold off and got into this, looking for the market to continue to rally, continue to find buyers. If we take a look at the hourly chart, I think it was more of the same. So on the hourly chart here on the NASDAQ, this is something I was looking at with Hogue this morning. We have a little bit of resistance here. We went up today during the New York session. We tested it and sold right back down. And essentially, this is an ugly market, right? Just lots of chop, lots of back and forth on the hourly chart, bar coding. As we haven't broke out of basically a 100-point range. We tried to break to the downside, we failed, rallied up, tried to break to the upside, failed, went right back down, and we've been sitting in between 18,600 and 18,700 for a long period of time. As you can see, it's between this resistance and some support down here. This was last Sunday's opening gap, so kind of just hovering around here, and that's good. That's healthy. There's probably a lot of people that are just exhausted from last week. I expect more of that going into tonight. It's really nice and refreshing to come and look at these markets, and we're not up 500 points or down 500 points. It seems like every single night last week I was talking about, in 12 hours we're up 800 points. In 12 hours we're down and then up. And it was just crazy. And the markets are just going really fast, scaling down. Lots of things to talk about that's going on in the market, but not today. Today was a good one. I really enjoyed the price action today, even though it was just a mess. I enjoyed it from the perspective of we're starting to get back to normal. I'm expecting more of the same. I don't see a reason for us to break out of this range. Right now, of course, anything can happen, but until then, it looks like we could continue to be range bound. I wouldn't be surprised if we are range bound until tomorrow. Maybe we extend this and say anything up near these highs we're looking to sell. Anything down near these lows we're looking to buy it. Very realistic to squeeze this range back down to the majority of where we are seeing these highs come into play around these high 600s, and then back down towards the high 500s as areas of opportunity to buy and sell. Playing the consolidation. I'm not seeing much happening into tonight, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. And then it's the same thing if we look at the 5-minute chart. Everybody's been watching this today. Everyone's been seeing how the market was acting on this, technical pattern. It just rally up, huge drop, same thing, back and forth, very choppy. If you're looking for a breakout trade or if you're looking for a trending day, the market probably just did not do you any favors and was really difficult. If you're looking for reversals or if you're looking for a consolidation type day, today was your day. Buy the bottoms, buy the lows around 600 and sell the highs whenever we do have a rally, and vice versa. So not much really going on. Yep, Coach Shoop is in the chat, and that's exactly what it is. Numbers in the next 2 days will probably give us some direction. We're always waiting for those numbers. But, yeah, look, from where we were at, what was this, Friday? Was this Friday? On the 9th? I mean, it's been straight sideways. Lots of consolidation and chop, and I love that. I love seeing the market getting back to normal. But until then, it's just wait. We're seeing the same thing that we finished off during Power Hour. Power Hour in the last few hours of the New York session was chop. There is something to be said that we are going up and to the right. So, obviously market does like to go up and to the right when we are chopping, slowly grinding higher. So, maybe we see some of that tonight, continuing to chop and grind higher. And maybe we work our way back up to the 700s. Anyway, enough of that. Let's take a look at crude oil. Not really much going on crude oil. What is something else? Not much going on in the NASDAQ, but take a look at crude oil. Way too far or way too fast for me to get in. I was not able to get in for that run of $80 a barrel. It seems it was just last night that I was talking about $80 a barrel. Man, we came a very long way. I mean, the market was here, right? The market was in this zone when I personally was looking for some type of a pullback and then to get in long. But, the market had other plans, and that was just to go straight up. Just straight up. That was it. Just rally, go all the way up to 80, test it, and then we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback finally. I kind of missed the boat on this. We really did. At least I did. And all that there is for me to do is wait for that pullback. Maybe we don't even get it. I would like to see a pullback towards 78.50s. I would really like to see, crude oil come and test this resistance. This was a major resistance. We just shattered through it. And yep, I would like to see us come back and test it and then find opportunities to get in long. Let's see what this looks at on the daily. Yeah, pretty vicious on the daily too, right? We just shattered that downtrend. It's gone, right? This was the bearish trend that we was looking at. We broke through it. We broke through it in a big way. And let's see what that looks like on the hourly. I think this is something we were looking at last night. Yeah, that's what we were looking at last night. This, bearish trend. And we did break that. And sometimes it sucks when you see something that is a good setup and then you either miss it or you don't take advantage of it. Because I remember last night I was thinking about this, where I was just thinking to myself, are we breaking out? Did we break out? And this was something that was happening, or it was happening in the middle of, or pretty much yesterday, where we were starting to break out. It wasn't gaining that momentum. But yeah, now with hindsight, it was very clear and obvious when we started gaining that momentum. That's unfortunate. Sometimes it really does suck to see a move like that, and then you just miss out on it when you were looking for a move. And I think we've seen that in Nick for a tick earlier today. Man, sometimes it's just frustrating to miss out, and it happens so often. All we could do is move on to the next. I'm just going to wait for a pullback in crude oil. Nothing to really analyze here. I mean, if you have the guts for it to try and get into a short crude, maybe there is a play where I'm looking for a pullback, and if we're looking for a pullback to test these, mid to high $78 a barrel, then maybe there is a trade to short crude for a scalp, or maybe at least for 79. That's $1. That's only 50 cents. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be shorting this type of momentum. Let's touch base on the Nikkei, and then we'll take a look at gold. Nikkei, we've got a lot of volatility, but this is something that I love this pattern. This is something I really do love. This is a very basic and simple technical pattern. It's bullish. It can be bullish or bearish. I'm looking at this as bullish. However, if we do break down below this, it could get ugly. This is something I've been watching for a little bit, and it hasn't really played itself out. If we do break out to the long side, we could get a big run. Maybe we come up and test 37,000, and we come up and see if we could find some resistance in this area, in this zone around 37,400. Of course, the first area would be, it's very hard. I mean, there's not really too much. I mean, these are some really big and wide ranges over here on the Nikkei. But yeah, maybe we see, of course, the first test of 36,200. And we just continue to find upside targets here on the Nikkei. But yeah, if we do get a breakout, I would not be surprised if maybe tomorrow, maybe if the news is good, we see Nikkei up 5%. Maybe we see Nikkei up 8%. I'm not sure. That is quite the big move to get up there. Let's see. It would be about 4.5% to get up there. So that is realistic to see that by tomorrow or the next day if we do start to break out. Now gold. Everybody in the chat is hollering about gold starting to sell off. I mean, yeah, that looks like a great trade if somebody got it in short. I mean, that is quite the extended range. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it on the daily chart first. So gold, very clear and obvious. We're continuing to make these higher lows, right? Higher lows on this daily chart. We're continuing to make higher highs. To me, it's going to be, I mean, we broke above 2,500. And the question is, are we going to hold above 2,500? And are we going to see a nice rally? Now remember, when gold rallies, we can see a nice move. And so maybe we find an average true move here in gold, and we could just measure, what happens when gold moves. Maybe we get something like this. I mean, that's, oh, man, how close are these? Yeah, they're, wow. See, that's just so weird how sometimes this works. So if we do get a move like this, maybe we could see 2,600, maybe the higher 2580s, 2,600 come into play. That is a possibility. I would be okay. I've been looking at 2,600 for gold. We've had deeper pullbacks than I expected. I would really like to see a nice, normal rally. I mean, normal rally. We had one the end of July. And so if this is one, if we're right in the middle of one, then yeah, I could see these higher 2,500s come into play, 2,570s to 2,600s. And I'll continue to look at this, and we'll talk about it more frequently because it looks like we're right in the middle of a move. And the move started 2350s. So we could very realistically see a move like this from an average true move, and it wouldn't be unexpected. So as we start to zoom in, yes, we are getting a bit of a pullback as I've started class, but still, we came up, we tested this high. This high over here since August 2nd. So this is the high that we tested. Broke above 2,500 today, and I think that's normal. I think I would be okay, and I think it's okay for gold to sell off. Maybe we come back and test 2,500. There's a lot of resistance on 2,500. It's a big key level. We broke above it, and so maybe we see something like this. We come back down, test around 2,500, and then we see a nice continuation. I would like something like that. That would give me an opportunity to get in long. We have these rallies. The pullback today was just really dramatic, whether it's geopolitical news, of course, talks about war, and there's always something going on around the world as well that can affect gold, obviously. And we're seeing that. We've seen it today. So I would like something like this. Like I said, there's a lot of resistance when we break out. To me, it looks overbought, maybe overextended, and it would be healthy to see a pullback in gold and then a continuation to the long side. Or maybe we just don't. Maybe we hesitate like this over here, consolidate a little bit, and then continue to break. Holding above 2,500 is key. It's important. I'm glad, and we're in terms of the perspective of, I'm glad we're holding above it. Like I said, we're in the middle of this trend. We're in the middle of an expected move to the long side. So it's not going to surprise me if we do break out. We see all-time highs. Maybe we break above, 25, 22. And tomorrow we're talking about 25.50, 25.30s. And tomorrow we're making, all-time highs in gold. And it's just buy. I don't know. Or we see a sell-off like this. Anything can happen. It's really touchy around this key level. And talking about key levels, let's take a look at Topstep's daily levels. So we broke it out above Topstep's daily levels. I mean, we have one at 2,500 and then 2,507. So maybe we could see some type of, reversal around there. And then we have a bunch sitting here around the 2470s. I mean, I don't think we could sell off all the way down there by tonight or tomorrow. And we have that key news coming out, the data. And so maybe that will come up. And maybe we do see something back down there. But until then, I'm not going to do anything. We have our gold trade that we're going to be looking at in 5 minutes. So I'm going to say Nikkei. Is Nikkei starting to break out? Oh, do I just get in? Nikkei is looking good for a long. I'm going to go ahead and see if I could just get into a long. Oh, whoops. See, there you go. I need to pay attention. This is me not paying attention. Let's look what I did. See, I continue to make mistakes. I'm used to trading the micros, so my contract size was 10. So I was looking to get into 10 micros. Nikkei's not micros. Nikkei is definitely not micros. So let me just get out of this. Let's see if we could just get out of it. That was a mistake. Good thing this is just a coach's account. Ugh. See, that's one of those things. Get into 10 Nikkeis. 8, 9. That's all we want to get into. Well, it was looking good. We just get out of this. Watch me blow a demo account here. All right. Well, that didn't work out too well. No, this is just a demo account, my coach's account that I label for coaches. Well, there's a mistake live in front of you guys. That sucked. I'm gonna have to reset this one now. I get the beautiful coaches reset where I'm practicing this, and now we're gonna push back up. Let's see this. We could do a true paper trade, and we could just paper trade it like this. Let's do that. That would be a true paper trade. A blonde moment. Trust me, I've done that more than I wish to admit. It sucks. It really sucks, and that's where a checklist. Maybe this is a good time to talk about checklists. And I know Rips goes through this. Double check what you're trading, and then double check what clip size you're using. There's an example of a clip size. I should have just seen that. I'm still not purely used to trading like this. Maybe it would have been better to have the hotkeys. If everybody probably knows this now. Hotkeys are activated here on Topstep X. We have the hotkeys. I haven't set mine up, but maybe that's a good idea. Look at that. Now we're pushing. Well, if you guys followed that 10 Nikkei signal, you're probably doing pretty dang well, right? Dang it. Sometimes that just happens. And, well, that's the breakout. Them's the... I have nothing to say now. That's just... It is what it is. Just be happy. I'm just happy it wasn't in a XFA or my live account. I've done that in a live account. I've also done that in a XFA. I've done that as I've experimented. I've done it in my personal accounts. I've done it more than I really want to admit on a live stream. It just sucks. Yeah, and say that was class. Go ahead and look at this. Look at Nikkei just pushing. That would have been a good example. That would have been a good trade. I almost hopped into an XFA. I was going to just hop into an XFA and place it, but, that would have been pure emotions. That was the breakout trade. So it's $25. How many ticks would that have been? Let's do... You know what? I don't even want to do the math. My first target would be 6. So let's talk about targets. I think let's go ahead and talk about targets. And then I'm going to switch over to the gold. We'll switch to gold. So my first target here on Nikkei is going to be right around 36,175. So 36,175. Let's see if we could get it. We're going to truly paper trade this using lines on the chart. And we'll see. I seen it. It was I took almost no heat, right? I minus the 10 contracts. If you divide that by 10, I took $200 worth of heat maybe. We'll watch. We'll see. I'll come back to Nikkei and we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and move on to gold. Let's Look at that. Immediately starting to rally back up. Let's go ahead. We did the analysis on the higher time frame. I'm going to go ahead and put my money where my mouth is. Okay. We're going to do this. We're going to trade some gold. We're going to trade some micro golds. And we're going to switch over to a 5-minute chart. So we're talking about gold. I'm going to be biased to the long side tonight. We've been bullish, and whether that's waiting for a pullback and then getting into a reversal, or maybe we could even play a breakdown to see if we could test 2,500. Let's watch gold. This is going to be our regular gold. Trust me, this is micros. Double checking. Only one is in the clip. I'm going to get this spread out, and so that way we know. Double checking in my Express accounts, or if I'm in my live, I just got to double check. It doesn't matter how good of a trader you are or how long of a trader you have been trading. You are prone to screw stuff up. Okay, so 5-minute chart. We did sell off from 25.16 all the way down to 25.08. Let's go ahead and take a look. We'll continue to zoom in. A lot of volatility tonight. This is a big range. I don't want to play a break up or a break down, a break out. So break out above 25.17 or a breakdown below 25.08. That seems like that's a really big range. That's a $10 range. I would much rather see if we could make a smaller range here. We still have 1 minute. 1 minute until the 8 p.m. gold trade. 8 p.m. Central. Yeah, if I go back. Yeah, well, I'm going to focus on this gold. We'll go back to Nikkei and see what the other markets are doing. And we could talk about markets a little more and then wait till more of the end of class. Maybe the last 15 or 20 minutes to review some statistics. But so far, I would like a break above 25.13. 25.13 now. Maybe this resistance, if we are going to be getting in long as an opportunity. So maybe 25.16, a push back up here and a break to the long side for longs. Yeah, I think I will need to wait until we break 25.08 because there's no other key level that I'm seeing to short this market. I mean, we do have some resistance here around 29, but the next one is 08, not 29, 09, 09 to 10, like 25.10 to 09.7, and then the next resistance is immediately at 08. So the next resistance, that's not enough for me. Let's just watch this. Yeah, I'm copy trading this. These are all the same. These 5 XFAs. So I'm going to watch it. We'll see if we get into a trade. So I do like that we found a lot of buyers. A lot of buyers stepping in around 25.11. I'm going to go ahead and narrow this. And if we could get a break above 12.5, then that could open up some possibilities to get in long. Still not much movement. A lot more movement than last night, given that the candles are still the same. Okay, I'm going to get triggered into one. I'm going to have a little bit wider of a stop loss in. Not risking too much. I'm going to go ahead and move this to ticks. As always, there's ticks. Risking 43 ticks. That's a little bit on the longer end. 43 ticks is pretty big for me on gold. Usually it's been in the 30s. So I think I'm okay. Actually bring it up here. Risking 22 ticks. See if we could break to the long side. hey, maybe if I would have got triggered into 10, if I would have had 10, that would have worked out on this one so far. Let's see. Then I'll get to some more questions. We'll see if this one will play out. I'm not going to do more hypotheticals tonight because these are XFAs. I know it's just one micro, but that's what I'm doing. If I'm slowly going to keep trading gold, maybe the next one I'm able to continue to trade gold. And the more confident I get into this gold trade, the more I'll implement it. One micro, not very big. If we do get like I said, risking 22 ticks. Risking 22 ticks is what? $20, $22. So it's $1 a tick is not much at all. Yeah, some people it might be a big trade. Okay, let's get to some questions while this trade plays out because there's some really good questions in the chat, and we might not see too much happening in gold for a minute. One micro is a big trade for you. Yes, depending on where you are, it can be. Dakota, how long have you been trading for? It's now been over 14 years. Yes, and Nikkei. Yeah, I'm copy trading. Yeah, this is copy trading on purpose, guys. Why do I not take into consideration volume? In futures, volume doesn't matter, question mark. I would say yes, volume does matter. Coach Jay, Hogue, there's some amazing traders here at Topstep that does use volume, and they are very good at it. I personally do not use volume. I do agree that volume is great. Oh, I'll do that later. So volume does matter. It can make or break, right? Just depending on the way that you trade. Do I trade it? No. Can you trade it? Yes. Is there a right or wrong way when it comes to the volume? I mean, it just depends on the way that you are trading. But to me, and the way that I trade, from a pure technical standpoint, it's not something that I use to either trigger me in, trigger me out, or help make my decisions. How are you not using it at all? Just pure technicals. I mean, you see it if you tune into my slow markets or watch any of the recording. It's the same thing, day in, day out, during the New York session, during the Asian session. I do not look at volume. I really do not, because to me, the one thing that's more important is price. I don't make money because volume's higher or lower. I make money whether price is going up or down. And I'm not saying it's not a useful tool. It's like Coach Jay's probably in the chat or wherever Coach Jay and order book, like reading the order book. I'm not going to do that later. Reading the order book, order flow, DOM is very, very important to many traders and can be a very useful edge if you know how to use those. And like I said, all power to you. Some of the best traders I know, and some amazing traders and coaches here use that. They use volume. They use DOM. They use the order flow, order book, and they're really, really good in it. They're good at what they do. I just don't, right? I just use pure price action because I learned to trade it overnight. And overnight, you don't really care about volume too much. When you're looking at a daily chart and you're looking at an hourly chart, it does not have too much of an effect when you're holding trades for a longer period of time. Or at least for my trading, it does not. For my trading, it doesn't. Yeah, if you're using smaller time frame, then maybe. I could see the lower the time frame, the more effect that the DOM could have on your trading. But I don't know too much about that aspect. And so I don't have too great and too much information, or I don't feel good enough or confident enough to answer questions when it comes to like volume or depth of market or the DOM, or same thing, but or order books, right? Pure technicals. And hopefully I could show you that. I've been trying to show it here during this gold trade at 8 p.m. Central Time, and I'll continue to do it. now that the market's settled down, we can start taking more looks, and I could continue to look more at the different markets, and we could go through different market setups, and I could start talking about my true strategy. And I say true strategy is the strategy that is my slow market strategy. I haven't used it for a couple weeks because the market's been pretty dang crazy. The market's been very volatile, and it's not been a normal market. And so I haven't been able to trade normally. But now, if the market starts to settle down a little bit and we see, more of a quote normal market, then yes, I will start using my regular slow market strategy. We can start going over those. I mean, this one is not playing out too well. It looks like we might continue to sell off. And so, for example, let's actually go. I'm going to just, take this one as a grain of salt. Minus 22 bucks. Let's take a look at these other markets. So we have Nikkei. Nikkei had that, break up, sold right back down. But I want to talk about the NASDAQ because NASDAQ's one of them. And what I do, and so I think this is going to be a good point. And this is how I learned how to trade. And I want to continue to do more of this for my slow markets class and, each night and add to it and hopefully be able to answer some questions. So what I like to do, like at the very beginning of slow markets, I go through that rapid fire, that market analysis where I start on a daily time frame, and I kind of broke down my trading, I think it was 2 weeks ago, but I do analysis on a higher time frame, the daily, and then I zoom into an hourly chart. And then based off the hourly chart, I run a lot of my setups on an hourly chart. So for example, I'm not seeing too great of a setup on this hourly chart on the NASDAQ. So, immediately, okay, nothing's good, move on to the next. And that's how I analyze the market, because I learned how to trade. I'd wake up, I'd go to college. After college, I had a part-time job. After my job, I'd get home, I'll do study, I'll do homework. And then after that, it's like 2 hours before I go to bed, I would trade. I would look at these markets, and it's about this time of night, sometimes a little bit later, just depending on how my day goes, is I will look at the markets, I'll look at the daily, then I'll look at the hourly. If I do not see anything that looks really good on the hourly chart, I would move on to the next. And right now, I don't see anything that looks good on the hourly chart in the NASDAQ. So I'll move on to the next. So I would look at crude oil, just like I do my rapid fire. I'll say same thing. I'll look at the daily. I'll say, wow, we've really rallied up. We could very realistically see some type of a pullback in crude. And so I'll zoom into an hourly chart, and I would say, wow, I might want to get in long. If we do sell off in crude oil, and if we sell off to maybe this support, this is an example. If we sell off to support around 78.60s, I want to get in long. And I'm okay with holding this overnight. And so what I would do is I would come in here and I'll say buy limit, and I want to buy limit one at 78.77. So let's just say 78.67. And so before I go to bed, I would put an order in saying if crude oil between now and then throughout tomorrow, because I wouldn't have the time to look at the charts during the New York session. I would be at college. I'd be at work. So I wouldn't look at these charts again until probably the same time the next night. Sometimes right when I wake up, I'll check it real quick, and then I could manage orders. But what I would do is I would put a buy limit at an area that I think that the market could, pull back to, and I would make sure I have my stop loss, and I'll say, okay, buy limit 78.67. Maybe I have a stop loss just below this consolidation. So below this consolidation, and this is an hourly chart. And so I would have a stop loss at say 78.12, or let's just do this to make easy math, 78.17. So I'm risking 50 ticks. And here on crude oil, it's on a micro, it's $1 a tick. On a mini, it's $10 a tick. So I would be risking $500 on this trade. And then I would look for a take profit. And I'll say, okay, if we get down here and we end up, reversing, I could look for a take profit back up to $80 a barrel. And then maybe I get into 2 contracts where I could have 2 different take profits. And so a lot of times I'd do that. Or I could even keep a runner on and not even have a take profit for the second contract. So I know I'm going to be risking $500, and my reward would be, let's just say, for easy math, this. My reward would be, so risking, not 500, risking $400 to make $500. Let me see. Did I do that math right? No, it wouldn't be. So risking $400 to make $1,500. So this is about this is just over a 3-to-1 risk reward. And this is how I trade. This is my favorite style of trading. And I'll continue to go over it tonight, because this is why I started Slow Markets class, is to go over trading concepts like this, where I could analyze the market before I go to bed. I could place orders, and then I could place these orders that might or might not get filled, and then I can let them run overnight. And so if this was one where I'm risking $400 to make $1,500, that's a 3-to-1 risk reward. And I'll set this up. I'll go to bed tomorrow morning. The market's either went up, I didn't get triggered out, or it's went down, it's triggered me in. It's either hit my stop loss or my take profit. So this is the style of trading that I learned how to trade, and I am the most consistent on, is leaving orders on, you having a stop loss, a take profit, and this type of a trade. And it doesn't even have to be a buy limit. It could also be a buy stop. So for example, a buy stop where I say, if we break out and we break above this, I'm going to get triggered into a long. And then maybe I have a take profit up here and then a stop loss somewhere down below. And saying between now and tomorrow, if the market decides and we do break out, I'm going to be triggered into a long. So that is the style of trading. All right. You guys are saying gold. Come on, that's not a big move, guys. Like, that's not much. You guys watching gold on these smaller time frames. But yeah, does that make sense? Let me know. Does that make sense to you guys? Of that style of trading, the whole reason why I started Slow Markets, because this is the way that I typically trade. And yeah, that is what I want to show traders, which is possible. There's opportunities overnight. There's opportunities in the Asian session. There's opportunities in the London session. And yeah, the markets, and the beauty about futures is that you are able to trade 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. And just because you have a job, just because you have other things going on, maybe you're around the world. We have a lot of traders that are, around the world, and they might not be able to trade the New York session. And so that is the goal, or at least one of the goals for Slow Markets. And look, we're starting to sell off here in gold. Yeah, that's quite the sell-off now. We're starting to gain that momentum. We're already at 2,500. We're coming down and seeing $2,500. So if we could see 2502 maybe. Neil Howie, yeah, that's what I still have a lot of learning to do on Topstep X. Like I said, you've seen me just mess up. You've seen me mess up on Topstep X. So once I continue to feel comfortable, I will continue to teach this style of trading, or answer questions, and hopefully help traders that no longer could trade the New York session but want to find ways to trade. Yeah, that was a nice sell-off if you guys caught that. Next area of support, 25. I mean, that is the level, like 2,500. This is a zone, 2,500 to 25, basically 02. Yeah, Asian session has moves. London session has moves. There's been so many times where you guys get to wake up during the New York session and say, dang, man, we moved a lot overnight. Thank you. Got to cancel everything so I don't wake up into a trade. Let's get back to gold. Let's get back to gold. Gold's moving. Frank, have I watched the teachings of ICT? I have not. Nope. NQ longs, could you hold overnight? Yeah, I don't have a flatten all button. I need to, let's get that. The flatten all. Cancel all, hide all, reverse, flatten all. There we go. There we go. Make sure I'm flat. Make sure we're flat. I don't want to make 2 mistakes in one night. I do not want to make 2 mistakes in one night. That's for sure. Do you take a long here in gold? Do we take a long? I'm thinking about it. I really am. I'm thinking about taking a long here in gold. Trying to find some buyers to step in around 2503s. Let's look at this. Let's take a look at this. That was the area I was looking at. Right? This is the area. This 2500 is the area. Yeah, it will only be a scalp if I take a long in gold. I kind of want to see this 2501. I'd like to see this level that we came down here before I take a long. Now, we might reverse here because we are finding some buyers right at 2503s. I would really like to just see 2501 come in. This is, to me, that support. We're kind of right in the middle of this chop that we're seeing. Am I sizing down for stream? No, I'm not sizing down for stream. I'm sizing down because it's the volatile week. It's been a crazy volatile week. And yes, I am sizing down because of it. Christopher, someone took a short on a practice account, made $12,000 as I went out with friends, made $48 on my funded account. Hey, that was still a good trade, though. That was still a good trade. It sucks. Just make sure, double check what account you're in, double check what market you're trading, and double check your trade size. You guys seen I just made a mistake, luckily, and thank goodness it was just my coach's combine that I could just reset. But I'm now in an Express account. And yeah, double checking these things. Okay, I'm going to refresh. We're going to refresh that now. Whenever I refresh, I need to make sure everything's still good. Okay, micros, 1 contract, good. Okay. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to get to some more questions. I'm going to watch gold because I'm wanting to take a reversal trade here. I'd like to see us get to, I'd like to see us get to this level. Now let's see. Let's watch. I'm going to watch this carefully right now. See if we could find some buyers. If we don't find buyers and we just break through this, I might just be hands off. Because this is that level. This is that 2500 level. Now it's a zone. Now with all zones, it's not an exact number because there is some, look at the resistance was 2500 earlier, all the way up to basically 2330. So I'd say it's a $3 zone possibly here in gold. No, I have not tried the hotkeys yet. I haven't had the time to set them up, but it's something I probably will see and try it out. I have this new Stream Deck, or it's not new. You guys can see the Stream Deck here. Maybe. I have yet to set it up completely. I have not set it up completely. So I haven't tried it. I haven't played with them yet. There's always kinks to be worked out. All right, so we're starting to reject that. It's time for me. Let's see if we could find a decent way to get into this as a reversal. Still not seeing anything I'm super excited about. I would love for us to consolidate more down here around these 2501s. It's a big, that's a big stream deck. Okay, yeah, that it's just either I was too slow. There's the advantage, right? You could either get in right down there and it feels like you're catching a falling knife, or you just have to be patient. You have to wait for the market to tell you to get in. When you place limit orders, do you cater for things like liquidity grabs so you don't get stopped out? It depends on the market. It really does. And I think you're referring to when I was talking about that crude oil. That's what I'm looking to show. So as the market starts to normalize, I'm going to be talking more and more about the way that I like to trade on those higher time frames. My true slow market strategy. I've went over a little bit. It's kind of the same thing. It's just a different time frame. So the same analysis, the same everything, how I get in, how do I get out, the way I view the market in terms of technical analysis and doing it. What is a liquidity grab? Think of a liquidity grab maybe as a stop loss hunt, right? Like if the market's hunting your stop loss, for example, say I buy now and I'm looking for this to be support and I have my stop loss down here. A liquidity grab could very well be a run down to 24.99, 24.98, and then it turns around. It's just stop loss hunting is the most simplest way I found to explain it. And I'm sure there's other ways that you could find a way to explain it in a definition, but I'll explain more and more of that. It's an hour and a half. I was holding only an hour class, and I still couldn't go through as much as I wanted to in an hour class, and I extended it. We're now having an hour and a half class, and I'm going to be able to do more of that in terms of coaching, answering questions, and there might be some stuff behind the scenes that's going to be coming out that will be catering to a lot of newer traders. So if you are relatively new, and if you still have a lot of questions about what is a candlestick, what are liquidity grabs, what's this, what's that, and it seems like some of these classes are a lot more advanced, stay tuned. Yeah, let's just make this class 2 hours and then 2.5. And then the next thing you guys know, I'm going to be having my slow markets class until midnight. Yeah, we're finding a lot of support here. So I'm going to kind of explain this now because this is looking pretty good to me. If we break above 23 or 25.03.4, I'm going to be looking to get into a long now. I'm really starting to consider a long. Let's go ahead. I'm going to try and get in if it will allow me. Oh, well, maybe that's why I should have just used a stop. I should have just a buy stop. Buy stop would have. There's freaking hotkeys. I need to get the dang hotkeys in right there. Yeah, so that was my dang entry. I missed it. If it gives it back to me, I'll be. So anyway, here's another one. That would have been my entry. This is my stop loss, and then I would look for the market to just come back and maybe test right up here and see if we can make a run for 25.08. So kind of a 2-to-1 risk reward, where I'd be getting in at 23.04, maybe with slippage 23.05, stop loss at right around 2,500, and take profit right at this previous resistance. Yes, that was the trade. Slow markets until London, and I can hand it over to D. Gosh, man, tonight's just not my night. With handling the very basic functionality of trading, and that's contract size, getting in and getting out. Yep. Let's see what the 100 tick chart would have looked at. Would I have been able? It's kind of not as good. Tonight is just an off night for me. It really is when it comes to just the basic functions, like the executions of my platform and me and my mouse. I don't know. None of that, Richard. Yeah, I'm not immune to the human errors that we all suffer. Yeah, well, anyway, that was a missed one. Dang it. We'll go back to that. Let's take a look at crude, and I'm going to get to some of your guys' questions now. And then we'll take a look at some stats. Like I said, I'm going to focus on continuing to go over this stuff. Man, gold or crude oil really did just run and run and run. How do I draw the white lines? Over here on the left-hand side of Topstep X, I got this one. You could draw the white lines like this. Well, you just have to double-click and then change the coloring. So I'm getting used to the coaching and the teaching part of Topstep X. Still got a ways to go. Like I said, whenever you switch to a new tool or a new instrument or new platform, there's always going to be a learning curve that comes to it. With anything, learning curve, man, that is looking better on the 5-minute chart. Well, there's a beautiful example of the purity of why I love technical analysis. I mean, beautiful, right? This is why I love technical analysis, and keeping it as simple as possible is this, right? Now, of course, I didn't just get in, of course, and with hindsight, yeah, I would have loved to say just buy when we get down there. Gives us just an area to look at, trying to make things as simple as possible. For me, it was just, there's not a lot of distraction, minus me in the middle of class and watching chat and doing all of this. If I wasn't in front of a class, if I wasn't like teaching and trying to talk and just run everything, yeah, you know what? There's an argument to be made that I could have been able to get in at a good entry. But from the pure beauty of technical analysis and simplicity is why I love to trade like this. You know, I not needing to look at volume, not needing to look at the order book or the DOM or anything really other than pullbacks, right? Technical analysis, very simple, very straightforward. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. It's not the best, right? Because the best is whatever fits you. And there could be an argument that maybe somebody was down here watching the DOM or volume, and they could have been triggered in just like I would have been triggered in from a technical standpoint. But it's interesting. It's just such an interesting thing, and it's a thing of beauty where you never know where these markets are going to go, but there's like breadcrumbs from, the past, like technical analysis. The breadcrumbs in the past will help direct you. And I do lose a lot more than I win in terms of the win percentage. But when you do get good trades like this, and you could have a really tight risk reward in terms of like getting in. I mean, let's just say I got in at the top of this range. So getting in at 52.02, just an example, able to risk, this, so $2, and the risk reward is going to be somewhere to a 4-to-1. And so having the opportunity in the markets to trade during the Asian session, during the London session, during, any session you would like, and having that freedom and having the availability to do it, like, hey, I have a job and maybe I'm working graveyards or I'm working a swing shift or whatever. But having the ability to do things like this and having great opportunities to make money is what I live for. I love this. Oh, so it's be brand new people. Not sure what you mean by that, Cam. Anyway, let's look at a couple more markets and get to a few more questions. Now remember, just a reminder, guys, Coach Jay had his very first at the buzzer today after the market closed at 3:15. That was great. Nick Vertick had his first session this Sunday. I got to watch the recording. Man, that was awesome. I'm excited for those. I'm going to be watching them. There's always something to learn, obviously, on any of these markets. So I'm excited to be watching that. Of course, I'll continue to go through some of the news that's happening at Topstep. So I'm going to call it news. There's always things happening. We just went over the hotkeys. If you guys missed it, hotkeys are new to Topstep X. I need to get my stream deck set up so that maybe I could be a little bit more efficient when trading and trying to stream in front of you guys, because I do lack some efficiency when I'm talking to myself or talking to you guys on YouTube and then trying to trade. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I would most likely say that there will be a video about the hotkeys. Coach Robert has some amazing videos in this Traders Hub on Topstep, and through some of like the support, we have the help center. We have, right here, look, under the support, under the Topstep 5-minute tutorials. Look at all what Coach Robert has done. Like all of these great tutorial videos. I probably need to go back and watch some of this, to be honest. I really do. But anyway, yeah. Mr. Phillips asks, can you explain a 100-tick time frame? So it's not a time frame, and I'll go over it on, let's take a look at gold again. It's a 100-tick chart. There's a time frame. Look, over here we have seconds, minutes, and hours, day, week, month. Those are time. That means if I click on this, say 1 minute, each candlestick is 1 minute. If I select the 1 second, each candlestick is 1 second, right? And then it's the same. 1 hour, each candlestick is 1 hour. However, with a 100 tick, each candlestick is 100 ticks in the market, which means there's 100 transactions that happened in each one of these candlesticks. So that is the difference. Anyway, Coach Hoop, I'm going to try help as well, more with basics for traders. Plan is coming soon in Discord. Awesome. Yeah, Coach Hoop has been formerly known as Hoop, has been here for a while. I always play around and joke with him. Topstep is continuing to do the best for the best, for traders, built by traders, for traders, and continuing to provide such value. And that's what we're doing here. And I'm continuing to do that. So we are getting, and let's do that as a poll. Let's do it. I'm going to hold a poll for everybody now. Let's do it. I'm going to do a poll. I want to see how much experience you guys have. So let's do a poll. And the poll is, how long have you been trading? Question mark. And so the first one is going to be 3 to 6 months. And I'll say 7 to 12 months. Because this is important. I'm curious on this one. 1 to 2 years, 3 years plus. Okay, let's see it. Let's see how long you guys have been trading. Because, yeah, I want to, it's hard to cater to everybody. It really is. Because I would love to sit here and talk about some of the more basic things. And spend some more time on doing that. And guess what? I might be getting that opportunity in the future. And maybe I will be able to start talking more about that. Maybe start talking about some more basic concepts. And if there's any cross, like, hey, coach, what is a basic concept and an advanced concept? Like, are there any advanced things that we could work on as a beginner? And the first thing I always tell traders, that it doesn't matter whether you're brand new and this is your first month of trading, or you're 23 years of experience in trading, we are all working on this exact same thing. This is someone that's a very beginner, and this is someone for myself, Hogue, even Hogue. And I say that any of the coaches here, Hogue, somebody who's been trading for, a very, very long time, can still work on this same exact thing. And we see it all the time. And it's the psychological side of trading. I go through it. You see me go through it each night. I do have a lot of the psychological side of trading. You just watched me miss some trades. You watched me take a loss. You just seen me put on 10 contracts on Nikkei in my coach's combine, and it's been really frustrating. Richard Harris has been trading for 13 years, and he's an emotional train wreck, and he tells me all the time. But I'm just joking. I'm joking on that one. But yeah, I can imagine Richard Harris is still probably going through the ups and downs of the emotions of trading. And I could guarantee you that everybody in this chat goes through those hurdles. I go through them. Everybody goes through them. And I love that Topstep is continuing to bring people on Topstep TV to help with that aspect. And you guys have heard me mention it before that Jeff and let me pull it up. I'm horrible with names. I just really am. Let's see. Yeah, come on. My memory is the worst. Yeah, there you go. Brett Steenbarger and Jared Tendler. Jared Tendler and Jeff Steenbarger. They're going to be coming on Topstep TV, and regardless of whether you're new or have been trading for years and years, like that is something we're always going to be working for. It's the psychological side. So if you're new, if you're just learning what a candlestick is, or if you've been here for a very long time and you're learning a lot of advanced strategies, that's going to be the backbone of your trading. And it's the psychological part over and over again. And I'm just sitting here going through some notes, and that's what it is. And I love this. I love seeing that, Brett Steenbarger has been on here for how many times? I think this is like his second or third time. It really, something like that. And they are recorded. That's the nice thing about YouTube, is that it's recorded. You could go back through Topstep's channel and see some of the recorded sessions. If you do miss it live, the recording is just as good. It really is. I'm trying to put out some recordings out there from this technical analysis, and some of my slow markets class. And there we go. There's the poll. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. Let's see. That's why I do this. We do have, where did the poll go? Did it not show up? Yeah, look at so many new traders. We have a lot of traders who's been trading for 3+ years. So 48%, 3+ years, 25%, 1 to 2 years, 13%, of 7 to 12 months. But look at that. 11% of traders here in slow markets has only been trading for 3 to 6 months. And I'm sure there's still some percentage that's been less than 3 months. So, is there anybody here who's been trading less than 3 months? Let me know in the chat. Because, some of the stuff that we talk about on Topstep TV can be very, very advanced. And yeah, that can confuse a lot of traders where you're trying to think of a lot more advanced strategies. I had a conversation with Danielle. I was talking to Danielle. Big shout out to her. I haven't seen her in the chat giving me crap about everything and me reading stuff off of the notes. But yeah, big shout out to her. She's been behind the scenes on Topstep TV, and some of the questions that me and her were going back and forth, she was like, yeah, what is a bid? What is an ask? What is buy at market? What is buy at bid? What's a stop loss? What's a take profit? What is And, some of these very basic concepts that's really opened my eyes that a lot of traders, it's just tuned in. Danielle, did you just happen to tune in right as I was talking about you? I don't know. So yeah, as we have this fun, these more advanced strategies, maybe there's going to be an opportunity, like Hoop was saying in Discord and some of the other stuff, about providing that, right? Tick values, risk management, what is a bid, what is an ask. So there's that's such, such a great opportunity for traders. Daniel, I swear I knew it. I'm not kidding. I was working out, listening in my own personal time, and tuned in right there. Yes. All right, let's get to it. Some of you guys is here in chat. This is your favorite thing. I've noticed. Do you guys still like me going through statistics? This is somebody, maybe you know them, maybe you don't. I got approval to mention their name here on the YouTube. But, he's here in chat. Carl Hungus. This is Carl Hungus's statistics shared with me. Now, remember, it's pinned to the chat. If you want me to review your statistics, share them. So, Carl Hungus, these are your statistics. Let's do it. So first of all, and I love reviewing statistics. You guys like it. You like it. I can't get to everybody's, but I do like going through a few of them each night. I'm learning some. Hopefully you guys are learning through some of them. And this goes to some of the newer traders. Maybe some of the new traders do not really understand how to read statistics. And this can hopefully help that. So, first of all, Coach T, amazing. Always curious to see what Coach T has to say. Express account. So express account. Once you pass a combine, you can have access to an express account. And that means once you trade an express account and you start to make money in an express account, you can be eligible for a payout. So there's more pressure on a trader that is trading an express account than a combine. And so here is Carl Hungus's, it looks like, first XFA. So this is your very first XFA. Says he's taking it slow, grinding this one back to life. So I love that aspect. Since you've been in this XFA, you've lost $1,000. And now I'm going to say it's only $1,000. That is not bad. From, this is a lot of days. Look how many days this is. You started this back in May. So to only lose $1,000 since May is amazing. It really is good. I mean, a small percentage of traders make money. Now the number one step to make money is what? Not losing money, right? And so the fact that you've been able to get this experience in an express funded account, 3 months worth of experience in an express funded account for $900, right? Not bad, not bad at all. Even less than that, whatever you paid for the express, like just the activation fee, like that is really great to see. So average win versus average loss, basically 1-to-1. Love that. This is probably, or this is why you're losing money. Is most likely your trading win percentage is below 50%, just like a coin flip, right? You flip a coin, it's going to be 50% heads, 50% tails. If you bet 1-to-1, this is about where it's at. It's just you're losing 6% less than you should. If you could get this winning trade percentage up to say 50%, 50.5%, then obviously it's going to start to change. Or hear me out. If your trade win percentage if you want to stay at this, if this is where your comfort zone is, the average win over your average loss, your risk reward, you could increase your risk reward. So for example, if the winning trade percentage stays at 44%, but your your risk reward increases to say 1.25, you'd still be profitable, because this is the thing that matters. Your profit factor matters the most. Point 8. Lots of days, lots of statistics. Looks like you started out pretty well. It looks like you did pretty well at the very beginning of your XFA, made it up to $500, and then it's just been, looks like a very slow grind, taking it slow. Not a lot of really bad losing days. So I do like that. Looks like maybe essentially you could say 3 of the days, look, 1, maybe 2, 3, 4 days. If you took out 4 days of the last 3 months, you might be at break even, right? So this is where statistics are starting to be more consistent. Carl Hungus says he's usually above 50%. So yeah, that makes sense to me. The risk reward seems about right. If you could get it back above 50%, then you'd be doing great. Okay, so here's the nice thing about a lot of statistics. There's a lot of data here. There's a lot of data, and when there is a lot of data, that means the statistics will not change too dramatically. Most active day is Friday. So most profitable day, Thursday. Least profitable day is Monday. So there might be something more to this. You don't have just 1 or 2 weeks. You have 3 months worth of data telling you this. So this is something that you could consider, and maybe trying to understand, like, okay, is Mondays my least profitable day? What happens if you eliminate Monday? And maybe, or trade, scale down, I don't know. That's something to consider. Total number of trades, total number of lots traded. I like this. It looks like you're just trading 1 contract at a time, consistent. Average trade duration, 13 minutes. That's really good. I love to see the 13 minutes. Anything to me that's showing that you're holding trades. It's not just really quick in and out. You're not holding trades, for a very long period of time, like losses. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, there's a summary of your equity curve, and there's your trading losses. Yeah, a lot of the really bad days, and I say bad days, it's only $300. $300, $250, but there's a lot of smaller days. Maybe one suggestion that I'm going to have is going to see if we could expand this. And I'm not saying a suggestion to you, Carl, but on feature requests, I'd love to be able to zoom in and zoom out on that. Trade count, it's right in the middle. There's a beautiful, and here's something. The more statistics you guys have, I see this in myself, I see this in a lot of traders I talk to, is the more trades you have, the more of a bell curve you have. There is a bell curve, right? This is a beautiful bell curve. Whether the bell curve is more weighted to the faster side, or a bell curve that's weighted more to the longer side, there's a bell curve nonetheless. So the more you trade, the more statistics you have, the more reliable it is. So this is a beautiful bell curve. It's weighted to the short side. So, it's more on the short term, where you're not holding, trades for an hour, 2, 3 hours, very rarely. Looks like a lot of your losing trades you're cutting short. That's really nice to see. Some of your longer holding trades, you're holding it longer, and you're holding the winners. So this very long trade that you're holding, winner, right? These are the winning trades. So let's look. Let's take a look at the grind of it. So journal entries. I do like that you're making these journal entries. That's something to keep note. That was the starting your XFA off really good. I do like this. So this is something you don't see often. You don't see often traders who do not trade on days, because traders love to trade. I'm one of them, where it's very addicting. You don't have to trade every day, guys. That's something that traders struggle with. When you have an account, you just trade every day. That's just the nature of traders, where markets are open, trade. Market are open, trade. That's just a habit. I love that you're not trading every day, Carl. For whatever reason that is, maybe you're just selective. Maybe you're more active on Tuesdays, Mondays. Not really sure, but I do like that. It's practicing patience. Just because you have an account does not mean you have to trade it. Traders are so addictive. Maybe I'm one of them that just trading every single day, you just do not need to do it. Look, even in July, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in July, when you are trading, it looks like you are journal, and maybe you're working on, maybe this is something, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you're working on a combine. Maybe you're working on another XFA. Maybe you're continuing to work on your strategy where you're like, I'm struggling in this XFA. I'm going to switch to a demo account or a combine, and instead of forcing myself to trade my XFA, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on my trading strategy in a practice account in a combine. So I love to see that. And micros, that makes sense. Trading micros, looks like you had one good winning trade in HG. Is that lean hogs or natural heating gas? I'm not sure what HG symbol is. And then micros, and that is the power of micros. Love to see that. So good job. This is, even though you've lost money, I love to see this happen. Not you losing money, it's copper, but the fact that somebody is in a trading express funded account and they're in there for a long period of time. So great statistics from the aspect of disciplined, from the aspect of just not coming in and blowing it, not forcing yourself to trade, and not trading so big. You've probably learned a lot more by this one XFA than most traders learn by 20 XFAs. You've probably learned more from one account than traders learn from 20 accounts. That's the reality. An account like this, you've learned a lot. I guarantee it. All right, let's look at a couple more and then finish it off. So let me see. We have a lot of submissions already coming in. Like I said, I prefer to review XFAs just because, anybody could come in with a combine, make or lose a lot of money that way. Let's take a look at this one. So this is an XFA. So here's an XFA. Let me get this one, just one moment. One moment while I get it pulled up. Okay. This is someone's XFA. Wow, I love this. This is a trader that trades very similar to me. I have very similar statistics to this when it comes to the trade win percentage. This is the way that I like to trade. It really is. So let's review this. $9,000 in an express funded account. Love it. Great to see that. I do like this equity curve, but we'll get to that in a second. Win percentage. Look at this. Trading win percentage. 37%. That means you lose your trade 63% of the time. So you're losing 63% of the time. That's hard for a lot of traders. That's hard to understand. That's hard to wrap your head around. Scott says, stretch the date range out. Okay, let's stretch this out. Yeah, it's fine. So 37%. Mentally and psychologically, that's hard to overcome. Traders just love, humans in general, myself included, just love that instant gratification. You place a trade, you win. You place a trade, you win. Most traders have a higher trade percentage, above 50%, because they just love to win. You hear traders say it all the time. All we do is win, 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 win. You just want to win, and you want that winning trade. However, they fail to realize how powerful risk reward is. Having almost a 3-to-1 risk reward is so powerful to where you don't really need to win every trade. You could have a 20% win rate. This could be 20%. And having a good risk reward you could still be profitable. Like I said, the most important statistic on here is your profit factor. Are you profitable? Yes or no? Like, that is the thing. That's the key. Just answer that question. Are you profitable? Yes or no? Are you making money? Yes or no? Everything else will fall into place, correct? Trade percentage. It doesn't matter whether it's 30%, 20%, maybe it's 80%. We're seeing these different statistics all over the place, but profit factor. I love to see this. This is something that I hope I could continue to show. Hopefully I could give you guys examples during my slow markets class. And when I was talking about earlier how I like to hold trades overnight, because I look for trades that are like this. 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1. Sometimes I catch, bigger risk reward trades. However, sometimes it really sucks because my trading win percentage is even lower than this, and it does. However, as you guys can imagine, if you flip and you see a lot of bad statistics, sometimes when you struggle or you blow accounts, and I'm not calling you out on this, Carl. You just happen to be, the previous one. So if you turn this upside down, I just want to do this for example. This has nothing to do with the trader. I just want to give this an example. So say you take a trader that might be struggling. And maybe this isn't a bad example because this is relatively good statistics. A lot of times you'll see traders where they're trading and then a really bad day and they lose a lot of money in one day, and they're trading and then a really bad day. And it's a lot uglier than this. So essentially you could just take these statistics and just turn them upside down, right? Traders love these little wins. And the exact opposite is like small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss. And then boom, like one really good day. Same thing, small loss, boom, one really good day. And lots of small losses, and then some really good days. So I love to see this. This is the opposite of what you would typically see in traders. So good average trade duration, 13 minutes. Looks like you're trading about two contracts per trade. Makes sense because of the high P&L. Average winning trade versus average losing trade. That is the key. On the extremes, let's take a look at the extremes. Looks like someone's trading Nikkei. So we have a Nikkei trader here. One contract, $5,000, one contract trading the Nikkei. Caught 1,000. Look at that. Look at that. Sold it at 33,770. Bought it back at 32,770. Amazing trade on that one. Big shout out to that trade. Worst trade, closing out 600. Love that on the extremes. Here's the P&L. You guys could see that. The opposite of what you typically see. Small losses, and big wins. And I think we're going to see it here. This is where we're going to see that. And as we start looking through this, cutting the winners short, very apparent, very clear. But the winners are cutting the losses, cutting the losers short. But then the winners, look at that. Beautiful example, letting those winners just run. Love that. And probably the opposite of what we normally see, where your winning day just wipes out all of your losing days, right? Winning day wipes out 2 or 3 of your losing days. Winning day wipes out, and that's what you see when you have a really good risk reward. Your winning days wipes out your losing days. So that's what a beautiful example of what you typically don't see in trading. So love to see this kind of statistics. Doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. I love seeing statistics like that. That being said, I think that's near the end. Now remember, guys, just a reminder, we have D coming on during the London session, 3 a.m. Central. Glad to see. I still have yet to stay awake for that. It's one of these days I will. I need to get back to trading a London session, maybe joining her. Glad to see that she's still going good on the London session. Just always shouting out Coach Jay. I'm glad to see Coach Jay doing that at the buzzer, because trust me, streaming and doing this on YouTube for the very first time by yourself is hard. You guys know what I've went through. You guys seen all the technical what do you call it? The tech side I went through, audio, visual issues, not getting my camera to work right. Jay's able to jump in and do it. It feels way different. Even Nick for a Tick said it on Sunday. It's just different when you're doing it by yourself. Everybody depends on you. Everything's running. It's something else. So big shout out to that. I'm going to go ahead and try and set up my hotkeys after this. I'm going to eat some food and set up some hotkeys. Until then, I think that's it. I will be on for Fast Markets tomorrow morning. Me and my trading buddy Rips, we're going to see what we can do in the markets. We're going to try and make it. I'm trying to grind my way up to the top 10 again. I really am. It sounds like I'm starting to make my way up the leaderboards. I'm sitting at like 30th. I don't know. I can't remember. But we will see how that goes. Until then, I'll catch you tomorrow, guys.